Welcome back, Lindby listeners, to some more Counterpoints. I'm Goodrich.
I'm Allie.
I'm Kyle.
And I'm Spurrier.
So recently, we say in the news, we just thought we found something that we thought was kind of cool that we thought we'd all talk about. On February 22nd, NASA's Spitzer Space Telescope has revealed the first known system of 7 Earth-sized planets around a single star, which I don't know if you saw, but it's the TRAPPIST system. And the big news that they had was that 3 of the planets were firmly located in the habitable zone. And that's the area around a planet where a rocky planet, or the area around a parent star where a rocky planet is most likely to have liquid water. And when I was researching this, I found out that all 7 could potentially have liquid water.
Nice.
But there's 3 that are in like this super sweet butter zone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're right
The
there.
Goldilocks zone.
The Goldilocks zone, yes. So
Just right.
we'll get into
one's
more
good
about
too,
that in
though.
a second, but just some basic info about the TRAPPIST system. And this is all from either NASA or TRAPPIST-1. It's like TRAPPIST.1, I think.
Yeah.
TRAPPIST.1 is the website. So
Spelling 1 or the number 1?
yeah, spelling 1.
Spelling.
TRAPPIST.ONE. So,
Nice.
anyways, so the TRAPPIST-1 system is about 40 light years. It's like just shy, I think, of 40 light years away, which means that it would take, if you're traveling at the speed of light, it would take 40 years to get there.
Well, if you traveled at the speed of light, you'd be there instantaneously because time doesn't exist. But if you were just shy of the speed of light, you would get there in just about 40 years.
Right.
But that's a topic for a different day.
Right, well-
Actually, we should talk about that at some point. I'm
That's
making notes.
a good call.
Yeah.
Good call.
So what that kind of equates to is 235 trillion miles from Earth. So it's quite a jaunt. In all things considered, it's actually relatively close to us, and it's in the constellation Aquarius. So,
It's the next stage, man.
I know, right? Yeah, it's letting the sun shine, and it really is though. So anywho,
That's right.
Just a little bit.
yeah,
A little bit dimmer, a little bit dimmer,
dimmer,
sunshine,
yeah,
but
exactly.
It counts.
maybe some oddly
Yeah.
colored plants.
It's a twilight.
But,
It's
you
a
know.
twilight princess of a planet. Anywho, New Horizons, which is the fastest spacecraft we've ever launched, flew past. I just can't talk today. I'm so pumped about TRAPPIST.
Took flu powder and traveled all the way there magically.
Let's see. So it flew past Pluto in 2015, this spacecraft, and is currently traveling out of the solar system at almost 14 and a half kilometers per second, which is about 32,000 miles per hour. Since there's no gravity, it's just going to keep on faster. And according to NASA, this is all according to NASA's New Horizons tracking page. So it would take this Pluto probe about 817,000 years to travel 39 light years. So
Right.
that's just a baseline for our current technology. How long it would take to get to TRAPPIST is it would take 817,000 years based on our.
And I'm sorry, I might have missed this. Did you say if it was something that would have like one of those solar sails that like slowly pick up more speed as it goes?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't think so.
Because that
though.
might help with the speed, but I was just curious.
Right.
So
So
Shut off a couple years at least.
Yeah,
at least
Right?
So
Just
and-
trim it off. Add a spoiler.
800,000. Yeah.
Add a spoiler. Definitely cut down on that
814,000.
non-existing resistance.
Well, if we can do
100,000
some
miles.
sweet, the game that is with the portals. Portal.
Oh,
Portal stuff.
What did they do?
Yeah.
God, those portals.
Got those portals.
Wormhole. I think it was called Wormhole. Wasn't it that?
Yeah, that was close though. So TRAPPIST is named for the Transiting Planets and Planetesimals Small Telescope, which is in Chile, but it's actually operated by Belgians. So fun fact.
Nice.
So in May 2016, they announced that they had discovered 3 planets in the system and assisted by ground-based telescopes, including the European Southern Observatory's Very Large Telescope. Spitzer confirmed the existence of 2 of these planets and discovered 5 additional ones. So that's where we have the 7. And they don't have cute names. It's just, I think the
A,
star
it's like
is
A,
A.
B, C.
Yeah, and then
star's A.
B through H are the planets. So.
Right.
So a little bit about the planets, and yeah, we're just kind of, I don't know, I thought this would be kind of fun just to, if you haven't seen the news or read into it or stuff, and
Just get
and
the word
for
out.
some reason,
Yeah.
Counterpoints is where you come for your,
For your science
yeah,
fix.
for your
Yeah.
science facts,
Yeah.
yeah. We're just to talk about it, but yeah, So basically, based on all the densities of all the TRAPPIST-1 planets, they're all likely to be rocky. Further observations will not only help determine whether they are rich in water, but also possibly reveal whether they could have rich in water, liquid water, like we were saying before.
Yeah.
So that would be the key to having sweet, sweet life. But all the planets are similar in size to Earth and Venus, or slightly smaller, which I thought was kind of cool. Kind of gives you an idea if you were to go there, like what
You can handle it.
So in the way that they determine all this stuff is that scientists look for wobbles in the star's position that's caused by the gravitational pull of things that are possibly orbiting them. So they measure that, and that kind of tells them how big the things are that are pulling on it. And also the telescope operates on infrared wavelengths. So whenever they see like dimming across it, that tells them if something's crossing it.
Right.
Because it's the transiting planets like blocking out light.
Right.
So about the TRAPPIST-1 star, it's cooler than our star, like Kyle was saying. It's classified as an ultra cool dwarf.
Dwarves are pretty cool.
I know, yeah, just like
Razzle dazzle.
you'll see, yeah, later. Anywho, so it's so cool that water could survive on the planets orbiting very close to it, which is closer than is possible on planets in our solar system. All of the TRAPPIST-1 planets, I thought this was cool. All the orbits of the 7 planets are closer to their host star than Mercury is to our sun. So like that's how close they are. You know, you think about how far away like Neptune and if you're still counting Pluto. So yeah, they all could fit between Mercury and our sun, which is pretty sweet. The planets are super close to each other. Oh, this was super cool. So if a planet was standing on one of the planet's if a person was standing on one of the planet's surface, they could gaze up and potentially see geological features on a neighboring planet. Kind of how you can kind of see like the man in the moon here. You can see like the craters. It'd be the same thing there, except possibly even crazier looking. And it's kind of like science fiction kind of, video game type stuff where you look up and there's like a giant body going by, you can see like features
like
on it.
Skyrim. I mean, like some of those moons that go by in that one.
I'm sure seeing
crazy.
like the star itself too, like being that close, it's just in the sky always. Like over.
Always there.
Well, actually, Alec, let's talk about that. So the planets are tidally locked, which means that they face the sun. They don't actually orbit on their axis like the Earth does. So they don't actually have days. So if you're on like the side that faces the sun, it would just always be day, and then if you're on the nighttime side, it would just always be night.
It's like how the moon is to us.
Right, how the moon is to us, exactly. Yeah. So, let's see. I got some sweet notes here.
Wait, are all 7?
Yes,
like
all
that?
7 are tied because they're so close to it.
Right.
So there's not any. And I don't know. I didn't look up how the Earth got its rotation, but it might have something to do with the moon and how people think, that it was just a part of something bigger that just broke off and was already spinning and just kind of kept it. So, the planets, and since the sun is a ultra cool dwarf, the planets we are in what we would perceive as twilight, like pretty much constantly. So that's sweet golden hour of sunset. So I thought that was kind of cool if you want to get a picture of what it would look like on there. But so the distance that they are kind of to one another is only a few times the distance between the Earth and the moon. So if you take that multiplied by 3, but the objects are like way bigger than the moon, so it kind of anywho, you get it. So they'd be looming large in one of their sky, and you'd probably be able to see multiple planets at a time, which I thought was pretty sweet.
So cool.
Really awesome.
And another cool thing that they were talking about, which kind of fuels the life debate on there, if there's water, obviously for us, liquid water is what creates life, and not to say that's the rule on other planets, you never know, but there is speculation that since they're at such short distances, when a meteorite hits the surface of one of the planets, the resulting debris could make its way between them. And as far as we know, like it couldn't survive the vacuum of space. But again, you never know. Like if something could, or conditions were perfect. So bacteria or other forms of life could possibly stow away on that sweet debris. They could hitchhike between worlds, which is a process called panspermia.
Yep.
There you go. Yep, like you knew what that was.
Well,
Okay.
it's true.
Everyone knows
Yeah.
panspermia.
Everyone knows panspermia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which,
Sorry.
on that thought,
like,
we should, for those of you who have joined us in the past, we're back with the camera where we have to do this in chunks. But you'll
Oh,
get a
yeah.
sweet little break here in a second, and then we'll be right back.
fact check our panspermia.
Yeah.
Okay, and we're back. So like we were saying, so since they're tidally locked and everything, that means that they could have weather patterns that are like completely different than Earth's, which would be like super strong winds, that blow like from the day to night side, since like temperatures are so crazy, and extreme temperature changes from one side to the other.
Yeah, it seems like that border would be not a good place to hang out.
Probably not, unless you got like serious thrill issues or something.
Oh, well, right.
Yeah. So
That's where every amusement park will be.
Yeah.
yeah. And so the TRAPPIST-1 planets, take almost no time to make an orbit, obviously since they're super close. So,
Closest one is like a day or something.
yeah,
right?
it takes 1.5 to like 12 days from closest to furthest, to like go around the sun. So a year is basically either a 1.5 days or
You could be drinking real quick on that planet.
Yeah, it'd be dangerous. And let's see what else. Oh, and the planets tug on each other, so that would be interesting to see like what that does. Because
Phrasing.
I was waiting for it, Kyle. I knew you'd have my back there. I know. This is,
Like a Goku, I'm just saying.
Listen, we're all people of science here, so we can look past the. Anyways. Anyways, NASA is going to launch the James Webb Telescope in 2018, which will detect chemical fingerprints of water, methane, and oxygen in the atmospheres, which is a good hint on whether or not it is good or
That's
good to go for
habitable.
life.
Yeah.
Yeah, as far as we know.
That's the one that'll be on the other side of the moon, right?
I think so.
The one they're launching next year, right?
Uh,
what you said?
The year after. Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah. So, but then,
But wait.
but a few days ago. We're recording this and then we'll put it out later. So this is taking place on April 8th. On April 6th, a new study, not to get everyone excited, but a new study from a team of scientists at the Konkoli Observatory in Budapest, Hungary, has revealed what could be possibly the Achilles heel for the TRAPPIST-1 exoplanets, which would be solar flares from the host star. Which I don't know if you guys know, but if like a super bad solar flare ever hits Earth, I mean, we're all dead.
Yeah,
So,
it is.
yeah, and we're like way further away than those planets are to their sun. So, Mercury's getting hit with solar flares a ton.
There was one
so.
like back in the 1800s that caused like I think telegraph wires to just like fry up. If I'm not mistaken,
It's something like that, yeah.
could be have been in the past.
There you go. So, anyways, they're saying these scientists at the Konkoli Observatory are saying that if they are that close and their sun is still expanding and growing and everything, that could happen. And using data from the Kepler spacecraft from NASA, the team observed that the TRAPPIST-1 system's light curve over a period of 80 days, and in that relatively short window of 80 days, they noted 42 solar flare events.
Dang.
Over 80 days. That's not great.
A lot of activity.
So that would make their atmospheres like super unstable and probably not able to sustain life. They're doing they're going to do more studies, obviously, to keep looking at it, but their initial findings aren't super great. And then also to add kind of to the dismal prospect of life, the researchers also think that the storms in the TRAPPIST-1 system can be 100 to 10,000 times stronger than the most powerful geomagnetic storms on Earth. So just to give you kind of perspective, the largest solar storm ever recorded on Earth was the Carrington event of 1859.
That's what it was.
There you go. Caused unprecedented geomagnetic disturbances So, and experts say that a repeat performance based on all of our sweet Wi-Fi and cloud storage, a repeat performance of that would devastate the modern world, pretty much. Talk about
Fallout Go.
Yeah, right, exactly.
go.
So, and because solar flares send off high energy radiation like X-rays and ultraviolet light that could basically wipe out our atmosphere. Just so.
Fry everything.
Yeah. And if we ain't got no atmosphere, we ain't got no life, Randy. So
Yeah.
so anyways,
Tien and Goku just throwing him around like nothing with that stuff.
no. But they've also said the Proxima Centauri system, which is our nearest neighboring star, which hosts the recently discovered exoplanet Proxima b, which an exoplanet is just a planet that orbits a star other than our star. They also might have habitability issues because of the radiation of its dwarf star. But some of the experts say that this doesn't discount the possibility of life, just because life might exist in a different way other than life that we know it on Earth.
And those factors, and if they
Yeah.
came here, they'd be totally screwed by water or something.
Right, yeah, the classic,
M. Night Shyamalan movie.
Yeah.
Ah, the
You
twist.
have like rock people walking around or something.
Yeah.
I deal with solar flares every day, no big deal.
Dude, that'd be
Yeah,
sweet.
and a good example
They lap them up,
yeah.
bathe in them.
And a good example of that, here on Earth, certain kinds of marine animals like jellyfish or coral use biofluorescence to cope with intense solar radiation, so they've just kind of adapted to it over time.
No.
And they absorb higher energy rays and remit lower energy at a distinct color as kind of an effect of that. So maybe we all just get sweet bioluminescent
Goo
skin
people.
or something.
I'm down.
Jelly boys.
Oh, some good jelly boys.
Good jelly boys.
So
Time to change the name of the band.
researchers at the Carl Sagan Institute are
jelly bellies.
let's see here. They published a paper in the monthly notices of Royal Astronomical Society about how the potential biofluorescent, lots of big old science words, life on TRAPPIST-1 planets might survive whether or not their atmosphere are unstable due to large solar flares. So they're still working on it. Like, this is all super new news and all that. They talked to Gizmodo, which is where this comes from, this little article. A bunch of sources put it out, but this was, I looked through them all, and I kind of, this one, they kind of put it in a little bit more layman's terms. So they interviewed some of the researchers, and they said there's a lot more resilience than people realize, especially with these kind of flares changing the atmosphere in a way that is not going to make the planet completely uninhabitable. It might be bad for certain kinds of life, i.e. us, if it happens to us, but it might be irrelevant for other kinds. Just kind of like, how sharks have existed almost in their same form for
Hundreds of millions.
Yeah, hundreds of millions of years. And, a lot of that's due to, well, if an asteroid did hit the Earth and wipe out the dinosaurs, sharks are like, I don't care. Like, I'm just down here. So, and I was thinking, kind of going along that vein, as Ian Malcolm once said, life will find a way, as he said, Jurassic Park style. So that's all the research I did. I don't know if you guys had anything to add. I just thought when that came out, actually,
I was going to say, if we do want to add stuff, do we just want to just quickly go into a news so we don't have to rush it? Like, we've got like a couple,
I'll just
minutes
say
left.
it was a good, unless you guys have like a bunch more stuff to add.
No, I mean,
You covered basically everything about it.
other than the idea, I remember seeing a video a while ago, like imagining like a red star and whatnot, like how plants would have to adjust to be able to absorb light, like that. Like you'd probably, I think I remember seeing a video that was like you'd wind up having like black plants and stuff like that, so that they could absorb as much of the energy as possible.
Nice.
And also just it would be super dim in comparison because a lot of the light is invisible to our eyes. So you got to think about like the kind of life that would develop on a planet like that and what they would be able to see. And how crazy that! I mean, you get into Predator there. It's just Predator. That's where the Predator's from, so we should not go there. That's the problem with the TRAPPIST system. Is he'll trap you.
From. Yes.
From the TRAPPIST
You've
system.
been warned by Lindby.
Yeah.
Don't go to the
So-
TRAPPIST system.
Well, anyways, it was a super fun thing. We kind of looked up. Hopefully, you learned a little bit or a lot of it. And as always, lindbymusic.com, lindby.bandcamp.com,
Facebook,
Twitter, and,
Instagram.
check out the other counterpoints, and see you around. See you later.
Later.